In Mar del Plata, we had visited a doctor friend of Alberto's who had joined the Peronist Party of all its consequent privileges. This gives insight into the Peronist Party as it conveyed through an oxymoron the consequent privileges that it holds. For Peron, the president at the time, gave privileges to dispossessed majorities to win the election in 1946. From discovering this party through a follower, this reflects on the various beliefs that are prevalent within the world, and how much it can differ from our own set of beliefs. This links to The Shawshank Redemption, 1994, directed by Frank Darabont, as there is a diversity in interests within the jail which can greatly differ. One would do well not to forget the lesson taught by the graveyards of the mines, containing only a small share of the immense number of people devoured by cave-ins, silica, and the hellish climate of the mountain. By the use of visual imagery of what these mines were like, it paints a picture of the identity of these people and what little power they held, also affecting Ernesto's image as he is soon realizing the harsh reality that exists around him, thus discovering this different world that he didn't know that existed. From this discovery, it relates to The Shawshank Redemption, as the director Frank Darabont forms an unjust atmosphere within the prison, as the police officers abuse their power over the prisoners, whilst Andy, a fellow prisoner, is realizing this injustice.
The person who recognizes and polishes them, me, is no longer. At least I am not the person I once was. All this wandering around, our America with a capital A, has changed me more than I thought. Page 32. It is evident that we are able to visualize how Guerrero begins to realize the fact that America has changed him. Furthermore, this reference links to the concept of discovery as Guerrero experienced change. This aided him in reflecting on his past life and how this discovery of America changing him ultimately changed him for the better. This links to the film Get Out 2017, directed by Jordan Peele, as Chris was able to change his perception on his girlfriend, thus allowing him to discover how she was planning to conspire against him. There we understood that our vocation, our true vocation, was to move for eternity along the roads and seas of the world. Page 75. It can be seen that Guevara was able to recognize what his purpose was, giving him an identity. Furthermore, in these lines, it is highlighted that Guerrero has just discovered his true meaning and purpose for life. This also relates to the film Get Out 2017, directed by Jordan Peele, as Chris discovers the true reason to why he had been brought to the house and what their family plans for him.
It's a Chilean custom. Afterwards, I saw across practically all of South America not to throw used toilet paper in the toilet, but on the floor or on the boxes provided. This observation is a testimony to how we later saw just how much poverty he witnessed across practically all of South America. It links to the discovery concept because it is a discovery in the literal sense, and acts as the catalyst for Guevara that would spur him to take on action in any form that he deems necessary. It links to the film Slumdog Millionaire 2009, as it shows how the protagonist started from very little in the slums, began to learn about the world around him and how cruel it could be, and decided to rise above it and do something about it. The quote above is a fairly long one, so I'll allow you to read it instead of me reading it out. This observation shows our culture is not so easily broken and can withstand even the attempts of the Spaniards to conquer the region, although the culture has definitely adapted since the religious now spit out chewed coca leaves instead of placing the rocks down. It links to the discovery concept because it is another discovery in the literal sense, and it shows how culture is able to adapt to the changing times. It links to the film V for Vendetta 2005, as it shows how culture adapts to the progress of time, and time is a catalyst for this, not only for this particular moment in the story, but for the greater story as a whole.
The great riverbanks are full of settlements. To find savage tribes, you must follow the tributaries deep into the interior, and this time at least we don't intend to make that journey. Page 145. This exemplifies the deep cultural aspects interwoven into the tribal communities that Guevara witnesses throughout his journey. The discovery of the differences between social lifestyles that prevail deep within nations such as South America proved to be significant findings for Guevara, as he has never witnessed or experienced being amongst tribal societies. This citation from the text epitomizes the sense of discovery that is gained through new experiences. It relates to the movie Kong Skull Island, directed by John Roberts, as we are immersed into an untouched civilization with a more primitive way of life. Their appreciation sprang from the fact that we never wore overalls or gloves, that we shook their hands as we would shake anybody's, that we sat with them, talking about all sorts of things, that we played football with them. Page 146. Guevara identifies the simple aspects of life that forms an appreciation in the locals' minds, including integral aspects of their culture, like football. Guevara discovers the simple attributes in life that the South American locals consider as important. This includes the locals having a strong relationship with the game of football. This relates to the film Kong Skull Island, as the locals share a common interest of being the subjects of photos, as well as having the curiosity to try and take photos for themselves.